What if I told you that you could make 30K a month online without ever showing your face on camera, without building a personal brand, and without spending years trying to grow your audience? Most people who come on to online business nowadays think that the only way to make money online is to start a personal brand, post content daily, grow your followers, and then monetize it maybe after 1 to 2 years. But I'm here to tell you that actually that's not the only way, and it's completely unnecessary. There's a much better path called shadow operating, where you get to be behind the scenes, partner with an influencer who is already has the followers and already has built the trust, so that you don't have to waste years trying to do it yourself. And this way, in my opinion, is much better because you get high leverage, and instead of spending years, you can basically start monetizing within a couple months. And here's the part nobody talks about. Most people don't want to be the influencer. They don't want to put their face on camera. They don't want to post and build a personal brand. They just want to make good money online, but they think there's no other option. But I'm here to tell you that there is, and you can actually make money partnering with someone else's audience 10 times faster, much higher leverage, and you can actually make way more. So if you stay with me on this video, I will break down everything for you so you can start this business today. So I'll start with my kind of story so you guys can understand a bit better. A few years ago, I had this exact same belief. So I thought, I had to build a personal brand to make money online, something I wasn't too keen on doing, to be honest. And then I kind of discovered, had a realization that instead of building my own personal brand and then after a couple of years monetizing it, what if I found someone who already had the audience and then just wasn't monetizing it properly or didn't know how, and partnered with them? And that realization really was the beginning of a partnership that ended up generating 7 figures over a period of 18 months. And I partnered with a fitness influencer, and we basically did that business together, and it was super successful. So that's kind of like how I discovered shadow operating, was just literally my own realization. And then I kind of put together the pieces and figured things out. So shadow operating is actually pretty easy to understand. You find an influencer, creator, or someone with an audience who has weak or non-existent monetization, and then you go ahead and build them a digital offer. So this could be a product or service, and set up the infrastructure, architecture in the back end, and then you simply take a percentage of the revenue. So this could be 70-30, 60-40, or even in some cases, like myself, 50-50. So this all depends on how much work you're putting in and how much work the influencer is putting in, but that is essentially how it works. But here's the key part. You stay completely invisible behind the scenes. The audience doesn't even know you exist. It's the influencer's name on everything, and you're just collecting checks in the background. So you don't have to build an audience, you don't have to run ads, and you don't have to build a personal brand. You're essentially like a ghost just collecting revenue. So in my opinion, shadow operating is actually better than building your own personal brand, because with a personal brand, you actually have to spend a couple years building it up. So you got to post content consistently, and it takes a long time, obviously. And then once you have built it up, then you can monetize it. So what I'm saying is actually there's tons of audiences out there already, and tons of influencers who have already built up the audience, done the hardest part, and you just simply have to come in and monetize an existing asset. So in my opinion, this makes so much more sense. It's super high leverage, and you can scale it by working with multiple influencers if you implement the system I teach. I actually run a one-on-one mentorship program. It's called Shadow Operator Protocol. So if you like the sound of this business model and you just want to get started and get your business launched in a couple months, then I encourage you to click the first link in the description. You can apply to work with me. I do have limited spots simply because I do give my full time and energy to every client I work with. So it's simply a time constraint thing. Otherwise, keep on watching. So as I was saying, building a personal brand, you're limited to your own audience, which is just one, right? But you can actually scale this by partnering with multiple creators. So once you go ahead and find one, partner with an influencer and actually build a digital offer for them, the actual maintenance of that offer, if you know what you're doing, is actually pretty low. So you might only be spending a couple hours per week managing it, or per day, just depending on what you build, right? If it's a course, then maybe it's a lot lower maintenance. If it's something like a community or a coaching program, then of course you'll need to spend a bit more time. But that's how it works. So then you could go ahead, find your next influencer, build them a digital offer, and just keep repeating the process. Honestly, you could probably manage between 3 to 5 partnerships. I'll probably lean more towards the 3 at the beginning if this is like your first time doing this. So like 3 partnerships, 3 audiences, 3 unique offers, and that's how you get to 30K a month. So you'd be making 10K per month from each audience and essentially taking a percentage off the revenue. So yeah, that's essentially shadow operating. That's why I love it, because it's a lot faster, right? So like in a couple months, you could literally be seeing revenue from an audience that you didn't build. And when you build a personal brand, you're stuck. Like you can't disappear. You can't take a month off if you want. Your face is the business. Versus a shadow operator, you can actually work from anywhere in the world. Your face is not tied to the business in any way. And yeah, you can work on your terms. So in my opinion, it's so much better. So now you know exactly how the business model works. You know what shadow operating is. And I think you can see why it's better than building your own personal brand. And for most of you watching, if you clicked on this video, you probably don't want to show your face anyway. So this is literally the perfect business model for you. It's something I've done. It's something I've generated 7 figures with, and I've worked with multiple influencers who have millions of followers. So now what I'm going to do is give you a complete breakdown, step by step, kind of an overview so you can actually get started today. So the first step to this business is actually to find an influencer, right? So they could be on any social media platform, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. But the main thing to remember is you don't want to work with everyone. For example, if you found an influencer with 100K followers, but they had fake engagement, fake followers, and you spend all the time working and building a digital offer, you won't get any revenue because there weren't really any real audience to begin with. Another thing, it could be they're just not in the right niche. Like it could be someone who reviews iPhones, but there's just not much emotion behind that. So if you're a client of mine, just go and check the criteria checklist and you'll be able to see exactly what to look for. But if you're not, you want to be looking for high engagement, good followers, and some niche that you can actually work in and enjoy it. So now that you've found an influencer to work with, the next step is actually to reach out to them. But before you do that, you want to position yourself as a partner, not a VA, not a freelancer, someone who will be on their side, building this business into the back end while they keep posting content, and you guys will generate revenue together. And the key thing is there's 0 upfront cost to them. You're simply approaching them saying, hey, I notice you have an audience. I can see an opportunity for us to come in and build a digital offer. Let us do the work. We're not asking for money up front. Very minimal time investment on your side. Just give us permission to build you a 10 to 20K a month business in the back end with minimal time, effort, and 0 cost on your end. So that's the pitch. I mean, it's a 0 risk framing because there is 0 risk to them. So now you can see how this is a really good situation for not only you, but the influencer. It's a win-win really, because you don't want to show your face, right? You don't want to post content, but you want to be able to make money online, and you can do the back end side of the business. But then the influencer, they are great at posting content, building audiences, delivering value to people, but they just either don't have the time, number one, that's a big constraint for most influencers, or 2, they just don't know how. So that's why it's a perfect harmony, because you guys are kind of like yin and yang in an analogy, and you complement each other nicely, and you can essentially do this business and generate revenue from it. And the most biggest opportunity right now that I see is there's so many micro to mid influencers that have a great audience, are in good niches, and just don't know how to monetize. They might have affiliate links, they might have an ebook or something, but they don't have a real digital offer. So that's where you can come in, reach out, partner with them. And honestly, I think in 2026, we are still so early to shadow operating, because If you're a client of mine, again, you will know as we look for influencers, you'll see how many of them are actually monetizing properly. And the number is like so low, maybe like 5%, if that. So yeah, that's kind of like the second step. And now the third one is like once you've got them on as a partner and they are working with you, you actually want to set up the entire backend for them. So depending on, what they wanted to offer to the audience, you would then go ahead, build the website, build the digital offer, like set up the entire infrastructure. Of course, the influencer would need to provide you with content, but that's essentially how it works. So you set everything up and then you can go ahead and you can launch the offer. So that's how you basically start a shadow operating business. It's simple concept to understand. Of course, there's a lot of nuances, details, strategy that I teach as well behind it. But essentially, you find an influencer, reach out to them, partner with them, build them a digital offer, and launch. And now, like I said before, you can just rinse and repeat this completely faceless, continue to reach out to multiple influencers, and become their shadow operator on the back end. Now, I know a concern most of you might have, which is great, like I now understand the business, right? But I actually don't know if I can build the entire backend or set up the systems. Like, I don't know if I can do that, right? That's a valid concern. But the thing is, you just need to know more than the influencer themselves. And everything to do like with shadow operating are all learnable skills. So if you're brand new to this, then this is perfect for you because the actual technical side on the back end is nothing too crazy. And in fact, like most of my clients who are working with me find their first influencer within a couple weeks, and then building out the backend is something I can just teach you. And it's super, like, it's not that hard because the platforms that I've chosen for this business are specifically easy for everyone to understand. So, when the influencer wants to log into the digital offer, they can navigate everything easy. You know how to set it up. So yeah, you don't have to worry about the technical side of things because you will be able to do it. But honestly, like this business model isn't for everyone. Like if you want passive income without doing any real work, or if you actually want to be famous and you do want to build a personal brand, then I would suggest not to. However, if you do want to stay behind the scenes and you do want to basically stay anonymous and completely faceless, or if you don't want to spend years growing an audience, but you are willing to learn the skills to make money online, then this is literally perfect for you. So yeah, if you got value from this video so far, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It just helps my channel grow and I can, continue to deliver high quality content like this. And if you do want to build a shadow operator business and scale it to 30K a month without building an audience, or without showing your face, then again, you can click that first link in the description. Other than that, I appreciate you watching and I'll see you on the next one.